Ciao tutti, buongiorno. Are you ready to cook like an Italian? I'm Chef Chandiatri, and I sure hope so, because today we're making meatballs. We're making a medley of Mediterranean meatballs. And who doesn't love a good meatball, right? Well, we're starting with one that doesn't have beef. It's made with either chicken or turkey. And so this is what we've got here. So I've got a nice bunch, about 1.5 pounds or 2 of chicken or turkey. The next thing I'm going to do is I've soaked some breadcrumbs in some milk just for a couple of minutes. If you let it sit any longer, it kind of gets like a brick. So we would just want to soak this. And let me tell you, I'm going to give you my best secret for making the perfect meatball right now. When you make meatballs, and it doesn't matter what variety, add a little bit of water. You don't want to add chicken broth because it makes it too salty. But if you add 1/4 cup of water in your meatballs, when they cook, they're going to be so moist and juicy. Trust me, it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, I'm going to add some chopped onion. Now, some of the time I will pulverize a lot of this in a food processor, but today it's going to be just kind of chunky. Now I'm going to add some sun-dried tomatoes. You don't have to use the sun-dried tomatoes in oil, just dried, or you can use the ones in oil if you like as well. I'm going to add some ricotta. Now, here's my biggest tip for ricotta. Always make sure it's whole milk, and when you go to the store and you look at the containers, lift off the top. Now you're not contaminating it or anything because there's a plastic wrap that covers and seals and protects the ricotta. Just lift off the lid. If it looks smooth and creamy, it's good. If it looks grainy, then it's been frozen and it's not going to work for you. Okay, so you want a real smooth, creamy, and always whole milk. I have chickens at home. Yep, we've got beautiful chickens. They all have names and I love them dearly. And so I'm going to use 2 of my girls' chicken eggs in this mixture. The thing about chickens is they produce the most beautiful, look at the color of those yolks. Isn't that gorgeous? So good for you. Okay, I'm going to add some fresh grated Parmigiano. I'm going to add that liquid now. So we're going to add milk to this. It's going to make it so moist. Garlic, fresh garlic, never garlic in a jar. Promise me. Nice fresh garlic, minced fine, and some parsley. I'm going to go ahead and salt it with a little bit of salt and pepper right now too. And then this just gets all mixed together. I am going to continue to stir this. We're going to whip it into some beautiful chicken ricotta meatballs, and then we're going to get our sauce all ready. It's going to be a creamy spinach Alfredo sauce that's going to go perfect with these. I'll be right back. We are making a medley of Mediterranean meatballs today, starting with a chicken ricotta meatball. And so I told you that if you add a little bit of liquid like milk or water, it's very moist. So these are almost unrollable. That's how moist they are, but that's okay. Just try to get them into a nice ball. These are going to go in the oven, about 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. We'll check on those. In the meantime, we're going to make this amazing creamy spinach fettuccine Alfredo to go with it. It's perfect. I've got a nice hot skillet. A little pro tip here, always start with a hot pan, and then if you're going to use oil, use hot oil before you put your food in. So I'm going to go ahead and add my butter in here instead of the oil. Love that. Then I'm going to add some heavy cream. How can you not love Alfredo sauce, right? Let's give that a stir. I just want to get that butter melted. I'm going to add some garlic in here. Let that butter and the heavy cream soften that garlic. So beautiful. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of good, fresh, grated Parmesan cheese. Parmigiano Reggiano. This is what you need to make a good Alfredo sauce. You're just going to get that melted. All right. I'm going to give this just a few minutes to thicken up. Then I'm going to add some spinach and some bacon, and we are going to be finished with this particular meatball, and we'll go on to the next. I'm going to check on my meatballs. We'll be right back to put this together. We're cooking like an Italian here with Chef Jan Diatri, and we're making a medley of Mediterranean meatballs. It's going to be so delicious. So the first one is a chicken ricotta meatball. The meatballs are all cooked. Look at how beautiful they are. Took about 15 minutes. Nice and golden brown, perfect, so moist. And the sauce is an Alfredo spinach sauce. So I added some spinach and some bacon as the sauce thickened. And that, I'm just waiting for it to thicken up a little bit. That's the Alfredo sauce. It's going to go with these chicken ricotta meatballs. And now I'm going to get it set up for the second meatball and a nice little way to present a meatball. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're cooking like an Italian. I'm Chef Jan. And for the next meatballs, we're making a medley of Mediterranean meatballs. For the next one, this is my Momma's meatballs. And it came out of our first cookbook, Momma and Me and You. And we are going to make her bolognese sauce and also her meatballs. And it's a wonderful, wonderful recipe. Very easy. So for the sauce, I've already made the first batch, and now Mama's a little under the weather, so I'm making her another batch of sugo, of sauce, and I'm gonna bring it over to her tonight. So here's how I made the sauce. It's ground beef and hot Italian sausage. You could use the mild Italian if you like the fennel, but I love the hot Italian sausage. Some tomato sauce, tomato paste, a nice wine. Now, I don't know if I buy into the philosophy that just use any wine to cook with, because I think that what goes in comes out, right? So get a nice glass of wine that you would drink and cook with it. At least that's my opinion anyway. Tomato paste, we're using some bay leaves, which I think add an amazing flavor. Some parsley, garlic, diced carrot, celery, and onion. And if you can see how tiny the dice are, that's really important because number one, you don't want to get a mouthful of veggies. You want it to be all small, small dice. So that's what we've done here. And here is the sauce. It's beautiful and smooth. You're wondering where the chunks are. I just cook it and I crush that meat. So it's just, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so that's the bolognese sauce that goes with Mama's meatballs. And then here are her meatball ingredients. So again, we've got hot sausage and ground beef. And I do love the hot Italian sausage very, very much. I told you I have chickens, and so I always have fresh eggs. So I've got 2 eggs, just like that. Okay, we're gonna add some onion. I usually saute my onion and garlic, then I cool it down, then I put it in my mixture. I like that a lot. Today I'm just doing the raw onion. A little bit of breadcrumb, Parmigiano Reggiano, some nice fresh cheese. That always makes the meal. Okay, a little bit of garlic, some parsley, And I'm going to put a little bit of oil. Now, the last recipe that we did earlier this week, I used Queen Creek Olive Mill's Meyer lemon olive oil. Oh my gosh, it just brought all that food over the top, and it's their second best seller. This is their first. This is their award-winning estate extra virgin olive oil, and this won a huge international award last year. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that oil. Okay, oh, my goodness, the smell is insane. And then a little bit of salt and pepper, okay? This gets mixed together, and we're gonna just roll it into the same size balls as we did with the chicken ricotta. So I'm gonna get this all mixed up. I'll roll them into balls. I'll get those in the oven. We'll get the Alfredo sauce back out here, and the bolognese is nice and hot, and we'll put this medley of Mediterranean meatballs together for you. We'll be right back. Well, our medley of Mediterranean meatballs, all done and plated up. Can't wait to share those with you. I wanted to tell you that we started with we featured Momma's meatballs out of my cookbook, Momma and Me and You. And I wanted to honor my mom and dad's restaurant in Lake Tahoe using the same plateware that they used in their restaurant. They had a very famous restaurant in Lake Tahoe in the 1950s and 60s and did the final wrap party, the engagement, their ending engagement at my mom's restaurant, and so many, many celebrities. So here are her meatballs on that beautiful restaurant plate. Her bolognese sauce is wonderful. You're gonna love this sauce. Remember, here's a tip about red sauce. Don't salt it until the end of the cooking process. Never add salt while you're cooking the bolognese or any red sauce, because as the sauce cooks, the tomatoes become more acidic. You throw salt in there, and that's why people add sugar to their meat sauce. You should never have to do that, but they're compensating for that acidity. So no salt until the very end. Once it's cooked, then add the salt. Over here, we've got those beautiful chicken ricotta meatballs, and underneath is a beautiful bed of spinach Alfredo. Beautiful, delicious, delicious, delicious. Both meatballs are so moist because we added that extra liquid. Quarter of a cup of either water or milk. It's going to make all the difference in the world. So I want to end with one more idea, and this is for the kiddos out there, is a little tuxedo meatball. So you're going to put some of that sauce on the bottom as a bed. You're going to take a skewer, and we're going to skewer a meatball for the kids. We're going to put a little basil leaf on there, and then we're going to take a bow tie pasta farfalle and put it right there. And there you have a little tuxedo meatball that is just so delicious and just ready to be gobbled up. Okay, we're pairing it today with a beautiful wine. This is from Poggio Torselli. This is the new winery out of Chianti, and this is their Chianti Classico, which is the heart of what they do, and it's in Chianti, Italy. We also have to have a little ambiance, so we've got a beautiful candle from Sonoran Sanctuary Candle Company, and I think with all of this, you are ready to sit down and make a beautiful, beautiful meal. All of these recipes are on my website at jandiatri.com, and I want to thank all of my sponsors for making this show possible. Cook Like an Italian, proudly sponsored by Queen Creek Olive Mill, Arizona's only olive farm producing award-winning olive oils year after year. Sonoran Sanctuary Candle Studio, where every all-natural hand-poured candle is a tribute to the beauty and warmth of the Sonoran desert lifestyle. Poggio Torselli Winery, an up-and-coming vineyard in the heart of Chianti, Italy, producing boutique Chianti Classico and superb whites and rosés. Carlaccio's marinara and everything sauce for everything you love. The Arizona Farm Bureau and Arizona milk producers, and Central Arizona Reserve for high-end kitchen and whole home appliances. And I hope to see you next time when we cook like an Italian. Enjoy.